The year was 1976. Gypsy Hill, a quiet community nestled in the heart of California, was a place where children played freely, and neighbors knew each other by name. But on a cold January morning, this tranquility was shattered. 3 bodies were found on the outskirts of town, discarded amongst the trees like forgotten dolls. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community, a ripple of fear spreading like wildfire. The victims were young, their lives brutally cut short. 15-year-old Maureen Sterling, vibrant and full of life. 19-year-old Carmen Colon, known for her infectious laughter, and 24-year-old Lori Lee Spears, a free spirit with dreams of seeing the world. Their faces, once etched with youthful innocence, were now frozen in a silent scream. The town held its breath, united in grief and terror. Who could have committed such a horrific act? The investigation began immediately, a frantic search for answers. Police combed the crime scene, desperate for any clue that might lead them to the killer. The town held its collective breath, the weight of the unknown heavy in the air. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and still the killer remained elusive. The murders cast a long shadow over Gypsy Hill, a constant reminder of the evil that had visited their peaceful town. Time seemed to stand still in Gypsy Hill. The once familiar streets now felt ominous, every shadow a potential threat. Parents kept their children close, their laughter replaced with worried whispers. The community, once a tapestry of interconnected lives, was now fragmented by fear and suspicion. The unknown killer had stolen their sense of security, leaving behind a chilling void. Dead ends and desperation. Years passed, and the case grew cold. Leads dried up, and hope began to dwindle. The families of the victims were left with unanswered questions, their pain a constant companion. But even as the years turned into decades, the memory of Maureen, Carmen, and Lori Lee never faded. Their faces, forever young, continued to haunt the town that mourned their loss. Science offers a glimmer of hope. In the realm of criminal investigations, where darkness often prevails, the light of scientific advancement can pierce through the most impenetrable shadows. In the early 2000s, a glimmer of hope emerged from the shadows. It was a time when technology began to evolve at an unprecedented pace, and forensic science was no exception. The once laborious and often inconclusive methods of crime scene investigation were being revolutionized by the advent of DNA technology. Advancements in forensic science, particularly DNA technology, offered investigators a new tool in their quest for justice. This technology, which could decode the very building blocks of life, provided a level of precision and certainty that was previously unimaginable. It allowed forensic scientists to uncover hidden truths and bring clarity to cases that had long been shrouded in mystery. Evidence collected from the crime scene decades earlier was re-examined, and a partial DNA profile of the killer was finally developed. This was no small feat. It required meticulous attention to detail and a deep understanding of the science behind DNA analysis. The forensic team worked tirelessly, knowing that their efforts could finally bring justice to the victims and their families. The breakthrough sent a surge of anticipation through the community, a renewed hope that the monster who had haunted their town for so long might finally be unmasked. The news spread like wildfire, igniting conversations and speculations. People who had lived in fear for years began to feel a sense of relief, albeit cautiously. They knew that while the DNA profile was a significant step forward, the journey to justice was far from over. The community's collective breath was held, waiting for the day when the killer would be brought to justice, and the long shadow of fear would be lifted from their lives. A name whispered from the past. The DNA profile was entered into national databases, and after months of agonizing waiting, a match was found. The suspect, a man named Joseph D'Angelo, was already in custody for a series of rapes and murders that had terrorized California in the 1970s and 80s. He became known as the Golden State Killer, his reign of terror spanning a decade and leaving countless lives shattered in its wake. Justice partially served. The phrase echoed through the empty courtroom, a stark reminder of the long journey that had led to this moment. The dim lighting cast shadows that seemed to hold the weight of years of unresolved grief and unanswered questions. The news that D'Angelo was a suspect in the Gypsy Hill Killings brought a mix of emotions to the surface, relief, anger, and a profound sense of sadness. For many, it was a moment they had both dreaded and hoped for. The identification of a suspect meant that the long, dark chapter of uncertainty was finally coming to an end, but it also reopened old wounds that had never fully healed. After decades of waiting, the families of Maureen, Carmen, and Lori Lee finally had a name, a face to attach to their pain. The photographs of their loved ones, once symbols of happier times, now served as poignant reminders of lives cut tragically short. The dimly lit rooms where they gathered to mourn became spaces of shared sorrow and collective memory, where stories of the past were retold and tears were shed anew. D'Angelo was eventually charged and convicted of their murders, bringing a small measure of closure to a community that had carried the weight of the unsolved case for far too long. The courtroom, once a place of despair, now witnessed a semblance of justice being served. The sentencing marked the end of a painful chapter, but for many, the scars remained. Community memorial services were held, where people came together to honor the victims and support one another in their ongoing journey towards healing. The conviction of D'Angelo was a significant step, but it was clear that the road to true closure was still long and fraught with challenges. The community, united in their grief and resilience, continued to seek solace and strength in each other, determined to keep the memories of Maureen, Carmen, and Lori Lee alive. The pursuit of truth continues. In the quiet corners of our world where shadows stretch long and the night seems endless, the quest for answers never truly ceases. It is in these moments of stillness and uncertainty that the human spirit shows its true resilience. The Gypsy Hill Killings remain a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most idyllic communities. These tragic events shattered the peace of a seemingly serene suburban area, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and broken hearts. Families who once felt safe in their homes were suddenly thrust into a world of fear and uncertainty. The arrest and conviction of Joseph D'Angelo brought a sense of justice, but it could not erase the pain and loss that had been inflicted upon the victims and their families. The courtroom became a place of both closure and sorrow, where the echoes of the past reverberated through the halls. Families gathered, holding on to memories of their loved ones, seeking solace in the fact that justice, though delayed, had finally been served. Yet, the scars left behind by such heinous acts are not easily healed. The case also serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the unwavering pursuit of truth, and the importance of never giving up hope, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy. Investigators, driven by a relentless desire to uncover the truth, pored over old evidence, re-examined witness statements, and followed every lead, no matter how faint. Their dedication and perseverance were instrumental in bringing a sense of closure to the families affected. The case also serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the unwavering pursuit of truth, and the importance of never giving up hope, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy. The detectives and investigators who worked tirelessly on the case exemplify the true meaning of dedication. They spent countless hours piecing together fragments of evidence, often working in dimly lit rooms, driven by the hope that their efforts would one day bring justice. Their unwavering pursuit of truth is a beacon of hope for all those who seek answers in the face of adversity. As the sun rises and light pierces through the darkness, we are reminded that hope is never truly lost. The pursuit of truth is a journey that requires patience, determination, and an unyielding belief in justice. It is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope, even in the face of unimaginable tragedy.